Housewives of Potomac. This is exactly how I was like, what? Ooh. Real Housewives of Potomac. Hi guys, everyone, welcome. It's Nana, Foxxy Mama 365. We're here to do the review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But after I got through watching Potomac, I decided, you know what? Yeah, I'm starting off with Potomac. So let's just get to the mess. Ooh. Oh, D. Ooh. Real Housewives of Potomac. That was sad to watch, but good to watch. Why am I saying it was good to watch? It was good because for years we've seen Giselle talk about every other woman on the stage, rip every other person's relationship, run with it. When Karen was low, her finances, Giselle ripped it into shreds. When it was Ashley and Michael, Giselle was happy to go at that and use that for her storyline. When the Grand Dame was doing her thing, she just, she was happy to literally rip into everybody, and for the first time, it looks like the other ladies have realized that there's pretty much no, there's nothing to gain being friends with Giselle, so we're just going to give it to her, serve it to her cold, okay? Ooh. So the issue of Jamal came up, pretty much. It first of all started with, we hear Jamal is in your sheets these days and all of that. You got a pastor wrapped up in your sheets, And of course it was like, well, who writes this kind of stuff? Yeah, this is not a good move. Of course, they show her dad talking about it not being a good thing for Giselle and having 6 or 7 baby daddies and having 6 or 7 baby mamas and all of that. That why is she doing this and all of that? And of course, Giselle's making excuses and saying, oh, that's her dad. Obviously he's always going to want the best for her, and because he cheated on her before and treated her badly, but that's not even the situation. So of course, first of all, the Grand Dame goes into, okay, what's going on with your beauty line, your makeup line and everything? Oh, the manufacturer shut down, so obviously I'm not producing anymore. Nah, girl, that ain't what I heard. What on the street is that, Target has liquidated your business. Ooh! So just tell what the truth really is. No, it's not that. The manufacturers, whatever it is, you made fun of me all through my process, whether I had ownership of the La Dame, okay? And guess what? La Dame is being sold at Macy's as we speak. I'm happy that finally Karen has come to realization point that there's really no gain trying to be nice and, pedal lightly with Giselle. Because once Giselle has ammunition, she's going to go at you. Take, for instance, not too long ago, this season, literally, Giselle and Monique had a pact that, you know what, we might not be the best of friends, but at least they're going to try and, get together, and take baby steps towards each other and being friends. And that was where Giselle actually revealed to Monique that, oh, Candace was trying to bring Sharisi back on the show. Remember that? That really happened this season. Anyways, as we go on, they talk about Jamal, if he's been around through COVID, and she's like, no, it hasn't really worked out that well. He's in Atlanta. And then they're like, okay, but what is going on? Are you guys really together? Are you guys back together? Yeah, we're together. Yeah, we're together. Well, the word on the street, again, from Karen is that Jamal is only dating you to save your job. And your dad was actually right, and that he just had a 7th baby on you while you guys were in this relationship. And there has been a lot of bloggers talking and saying that some woman has just had a baby. Now at this point, Monique jumps in, and Monique is like, it's really true. She's been sending me these messages from a while back and saying that you guys just have a reality TV, relationship, and she actually shows the screenshot. She's like, she's got her binder. Monique ain't here to play. Monique is like, yeah, there's really no advantage in trying to be friends with you. And since you've been coming at me about my relationship, you know what? Let me give you some of the screen text. Maybe you might have it. And they're like, oh, he has another baby. And the lady is saying that this is him right here, lying down here with me. There are pictures. And she says this is his phone number, where Jamal is actually saying that, oh, but you know that the only reason I'm doing this is pretty much just for reality TV, just for for the show and all of that. Whew. This was a lot. This was a lot, but I'm not sad. You see Candace trying to jump in, of course, trying to insert herself like a used tampon. And of course Robin said, oh, what is the motivation behind bringing this out? But the motivation is, you should be telling us the truth. Why are you lying about dating this guy? Why, like, he didn't even bring anything to the show, so it wasn't even worth it. Why did Giselle need to even bring it? The only thing he brought to the show was taking the kids to Atlanta and saying, oh, I opened a restaurant. And that was like one episode. And at the end of that episode, your dad came out and said, this is a bad look for you. What are you doing with this guy? What business? And you see your kids are like, no, they don't want to see you with this. What are you doing? Ooh, it was so embarrassing. Of course, she tried to laugh it off and be like, oh, I don't believe anything Monique is saying. You know, it's just Monique. She can have her binders and bring all the binders. And she's like, girl, let me just tell you what. I'll read out his telephone number because you should know his number. And she goes on to 410, they beep it out. And is that his phone number? And at this point, I wish the ground could open and suck her up. Giselle, I don't even feel sorry for you because of all the mess you've done. Like last season, I remember when Ashley was literally coming and crying to you and saying, hey, look at what's going on with me and my marriage and all of that. You were always happy to bring it, and talk about it with Robin, talk about it with Katie, talk about it with everybody else but Ashley. Then at the last minute, you try and pull Ashley to the side and act like, oh, actually, I'm your friend. But all the while, what we saw was you being messy and you using Michael and Ashley as the storyline, because you didn't have anything. And I just don't even understand why you don't need... So this, ladies and gentlemen, is why her daughters are very reluctant to, talk about it and be happy. And she keeps on saying, oh, the girls are just, they love me. They want the... come on, Giselle, cut it out. You don't even need it, So, of course, I really, honestly, I don't pity Giselle. I really don't. I have little sympathy. I don't even know why Candace is trying to insert herself because truly, Giselle had nothing to say for herself, but we'll see if she's going to say something next week. But she really had nothing to say because it was the truth. She was just being, she brought Jamal on the show, kind of like a rent an ex. She's learned from the best. She's probably learned from Kenya, okay? You're a frog. You're definitely you bring a different man every show. That's according to Monique. And you're a holy whore. Ooh. Guys, we need to say a prayer, okay? We need to say a prayer for these ladies because Monique has decided, you know what? All the gloves are off. Let's just get into the ring and let's just get to battle. I ain't here to play. There ain't no advantage. Yeah, you come on here. Ooh, you talk about my man and calling my man big boy, but you are a holy... Ooh, you're here all the way in New York or whatever. Meanwhile, your man has been flinging his big d all over Atlanta. Nah. I am happy to see this happen because, yeah, Giselle has done so much to a lot of ladies and always never really been a good friend to anyone. Even Robin, I can almost, point out a few situations where she has, like literally not really been a good friend to Robin. But for some reason, Robin has always just swallowed it and just, they've still remained friends. But you can tell that definitely Giselle had this coming. A lot of people have been waiting for this downfall. And when it came like roaring thunder. So let's start from the very scratch. What the ladies are wearing. Like I said before, if you go, please check out my Instagram page. It's Foxxy Mama 365 on Instagram. Okay, please check that out. And of course, I'm also Foxxy Mama 365 as well on Facebook. My best dress, I would say, it was Monique. I really liked Monique's dress. It was kind of cute. Next off was Karen. I like Karen's dress. So they're going to go through 5 years of being on Potomac, which is kind of cool. The wigs have evolved. Karen's wigs have definitely evolved. My favorite look for looks, for sure, it's still Monique. Monique, because she does so much more with her hair. You know, she can be, she can go do the afro thing. She can do the braids, and she still looks good. She looks cute. She can have the weave-ons and wigs, and I love the way Monique comes out. And she's never used any blonde wig, and so it's kind of like ethnic. And I love Monique's look. Who would I pick next? Candice thinks she's better looking than every other person except, oh no, I wouldn't pick Candice. It's probably not my style. Who else would I say? Yeah, Monique is it. And Karen shows up. Yeah, definitely Karen also shows up as well. But Giselle's style has been a hot mess. Giselle really needs to get a stylist. She really does need a stylist from time to time to give us that wow factor. And like Wendy said she's suffering from the pretty girl syndrome. The pretty girl syndrome pretty much is like, you know, when you're a beautiful woman, you don't really need to do much. Like sometimes you can even actually show up in a place without much makeup, right? So that's what she suffers from. And the pretty girl syndrome, they always say, usually also ends up in the bedroom, where you just feel like you're so pretty, you just can just lie back and the man should be grateful. Well, that's the pretty girl syndrome, okay? So then, moving on, Monique also thinks that the best dress is Karen. Then, of course, she goes on to, they ask Candice, and Candice says, yes, Karen and herself, other than herself. And Monique says, nah, she ain't that vain. And, of course, once again, Candice just jumps right in. Yeah, not in front of the cameras, but in private, you are vain. And I'm like, girl, who asked you? This is not the time. Just calm down. Your time is coming, okay? Giselle and Robin's friendship. So they talk about that and how come it has lasted, because usually friendships really don't last on the show. But Robin says because it's not any strategic that they are real friends. I don't believe that. I just think Robin is a follower. Anything Giselle tells her to do, she's pretty much going to do it. So just stop. It is definitely a strategic relationship, because you guys use each other, you know, and kind of lean on each other to do whatever messiness you guys are doing. Take for instance, it would have been nice to see Robin stand up and say, you know what, with this Monique situation, I'm not going to get involved. They are two grown women. You know, even if Giselle, you know, is not going to speak with Monique, I'm going to, you know, not necessarily take sides or not necessarily be her best friend. But yeah, let her come around, you know, figure it out. Let them figure it out on their own. But anyways, Robin says that the Grand Dame has been attacking herself and Giselle on Twitter, and because of that, they have been getting lots of attacks from people and all of that. Wendy and her black girl magic. I like Wendy, kind of. But Wendy talking about the 4 degrees, oh my gosh, I knew that if I heard that again, I just couldn't with Wendy. And she says, yeah, that it's a Nigerian thing. I won't really say it's a Nigerian thing. Education and getting a lot of education is a Nigerian thing. But bragging about it, no. That is definitely not a Nigerian thing. But definitely, we are high flyers. We like to achieve academically. And in whatever we do, pretty much, we try to be at the top of our game, you know. So then, of course, they go into the floozy freelance. She's still teaching at the Johns Hopkins University. So, of course, who brought up the floozy freelancer comment? Of course, it was Giselle, you know, trying to be messy, you know. And so they were like, okay, Giselle, why did you? And she's like, oh, she used it because Karen was trying to get you off the show even before the show started. And I'm like, okay, so you're trying to... So Karen was trying to get her off the show and was calling her, like, and because of that, you were using the word floozy. And that's why I say, Giselle, you become so messy. And it's sometimes not necessary, because these ladies didn't even have, like, they were going to beef on their own. You didn't need to get involved and try. You just didn't need to do it. Leave that to Ashley, okay? Even Ashley is getting some common sense these days, okay? Any which ways. She says that she didn't, that it's not true about not liking Wendy. That this is Karen speaking and saying that pretty much, you know, she doesn't have anything against Wendy or her degrees, and that's not what it is, you know, but they were just not good in a good place. And of course the other ladies are chiming in and say, yeah, she had said she wasn't Potomac worthy and she wasn't really a good fit for the cast and all of that. But anyways, Karen is able to apologize and let's keep it pushing. I appreciate you. It's not has nothing to do with, I mean, it is what it is. Candice, it was a nice song. you're doing well. The song, I've listened to this song. Actually, Alex Rogers and he was playing it, and I was like, yay, it was kind of cool. So I listened to it when Alex was playing, and I was like, it's not a bad song actually. But then of course they're comparing it to Coffee and Love, which was Ashley's song. And of course immediately you see Candice being very, very mean-spirited and saying, oh, the vocals were not good and it was struggling. And of course Ashley's gonna obviously chime in and talk about their husbands and what all the stuff that she has been saying about her. She's like, you keep quiet, just, I wasn't talking to you. But yeah, you did mention her song. You were comparing it to her song and putting her vocals down. So of course she's going to speak up and talk about what's been... Anyways, to go on into talking about black women and why sometimes black women are looked at as being aggressive, and it's a learning moment, because a lot of times when we speak, a lot of people say, oh, because you're black or you're really, you are angry, the angry black woman. So we have to also learn now not to use those terms, when we kind of, talk about black women being aggressive and all of that. And it's a learning moment for all of us pretty much, not to stigmatize each other. Candice has gotten a new house. She's also doing an MBA, and she may be pregnant. Maybe that will probably be the only thing that's going to change Candice. Yeah, her getting pregnant and having a baby, because you can see how Ashley has changed. Ashley has definitely changed. Karen has definitely matured. Giselle hasn't changed a bit. If anything, she's, I don't know. Robin, we really don't know that. Robin is still the same. Who else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyways, no words yet. She tells Ashley to take, there's still no accountability on the part of Candice for all the stuff she said to Ashley, She's like, well, she's not going to really apologize for everything she said when Ashley was trying to get pregnant and all the going back and forth. It was kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. Whew. Giselle and Jamal. Again, I will say, Giselle really didn't need Jamal this season. Nah, I don't know why she feels she needs a man. I really would have preferred if Giselle focused on doing her business line and showing us that process, rather than meddling in other people's, relationships and all of that stuff. I know that might be more interesting, but she really didn't need Jamal this season, and it's kind of sad to watch all of this. The ladies now bringing this man's business to the forefront. He has 6 or 7 kids that are going to watch this stuff, and it's unfair, but that's what happens. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So I'm guessing for all the little pebbles for all the little pebbles that Giselle has been throwing from season 1 to season 5, listen, they picked up a rock and threw it right back at her. Thanks guys for watching. Be sure to share, be sure to like, and be sure to subscribe. Foxxy Mama 365.